Alrighty, yo, what is up next? Aegis Rick here, back with some more DFO Blitz. This time on my Paladin, or Lightbringer in this version of the game. And guys, this character, whew, let me tell you, we've been playing this character a lot, which is pretty obvious. She's actually my highest rank in my whole account right now. She's Guru rank 3. I've been doing nothing but farming hells, and it definitely shows. My gear has kind of distinguished the fact she's looking a lot like my Elven Knight right now. Distinguished the fact that I have taken her very seriously, her gear, you know, I've given her all the event items, all the amplifiers and everything. Got full tactical, got a 90 bludgeon. Been getting pretty lucky with the sub equipment. Sadly not getting any luck on the 5 senses, but we'll keep trying. You know, I got full rare avatars and insignia, and we're taking this character very seriously. She's looking a lot, even in terms of looks, like my Elven Knight, which is the whole purpose. Got a lot of epics here. I got 5 out of 5 of this set. I'm 4 out of 5 on the Mana Vortex. I want to get the Mana Vortex, and I want to get some speed. I'm just imagining how it's gonna look. Hopefully I get a Swirling Spiritual soon here, but yeah, we've been actually getting 2 out of 3 on the level 85 accessory set, so I'll be 2 out of 3 on this one, or Cold Princess, whichever one drops. If I get the ring, we're gonna be golden. But guys, it's obvious I've been taking this character very seriously, and because of that, we're going to be running some hells today. Now, this is actually the second recording of this video. I've decided in this video I'm going to keep the format the same as the usual Blitz video, but I think because I had a lot of opinions about this class, I will not be giving you guys what I think should be improved of the class, or the shit-talking. I did a lot more shit-talking in my first video, and it was like 30 minutes long. So instead, I'm going to do a different video after this one, kind of going over what improvements I think should be made, and really the real high criticisms I have on it after playing it for this long. Anyway, that's not in this video, though. Look out for that one later. We'll go ahead and run to every region right now, just because I feel like, you know, I run Times Square all day. So let's mix it up a little bit. And I'm still running it, obviously. I don't have a 90 set yet. I don't have a lot of gear yet, especially, you know, I want to get Amnesia Ring at some point, so stuff like that would be nice. But, yeah, guys, like I was saying, this character, definitely my second main character right now. And it is, you know, I don't want to, I guess I had to start this video and kind of defend myself, right? It's like, oh, you're playing this character, Rick? Definitely by now the hype has died down. I'm not playing this character just for the hype's sake. Whoever, you know, there is no hype for this class anymore. It was out when it, you know, initially came out, and now the hype is kind of dead. So whoever's playing Paladin still is playing it for the right reasons and not just for the hype reasons. So I'm one of those people. I called it from the start, and that kind of goes into what the point I want to make about this class. I know there are so many things you can level against this class in terms of the shit talking you can do, in terms of how easy it is and how brain dead it is. Hey, I'm not even gonna try to defend it. You know, you can say whatever you want on that subject, because I can't defend it. This class is super easy. This class is one of the classes that you would definitely see me shit talking all day, because it's, you know, it's like Azura level. I don't know which one's easier, honestly, Azura or this class. I would still lean towards Azura, but, you know, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let me explain why I'm playing a class like this. And this defense really kind of should explain itself, honestly. You got to play the classes for the right reasons. You don't play a class because it's strong. You play it because you like it, no matter what. I don't care if it's, you know, if it's fun to you, it's fun to you. You know, it's just kind of a very subjective thing. And in this case, the reason I'm playing this class is because I'm a very archetypal player. I've said this in my FAQ for years now. I like classes because of the roles sometimes that they have. If they're a knight, if you call a class a knight and they have like sword and shield or whatever shield, I'm going to give you some attention, more attention than other classes. And really, I love knights. I love, it goes without saying, my name is fucking Aegis Rick. I love knights. Knight class is probably the coolest thing ever. But, you know, get one shot, dude. That did some damage. So I was going to play the knight either way. Elven Knight was the same reason. Why did I start playing Elven Knight? Because fucking she has knight in her name, you know? It's like, because she's a chick with a shield. So this is the same way. And, you know, I kind of conform. I don't conform to what the class's role is supposed to be. Really, I take that class and play it how I want to play it. This is kind of why I kind of got criticized on my witch, right? I don't like to conform to, oh, this is how the witch is supposed to play. I like the player, fuck it, like I like the player. And this class is one of those classes where you'll always hear everybody say, oh, this class is support. first of all, I'm going to say no, it isn't. And second of all, even if it was completely support, I wouldn't play her like that. You know, I would go out of my way to play her the way I want to play her, and that is a physical powerhouse, you know. And let me make the point as to why I don't think this class is a support class, you know, because that's what everybody's going to say about this class. That's what this class is. But there are two skills this class has that are buff skills. That's Faithful, which I'll go over here. This is actually a skill damage buff for your party. Everybody gets a 25% damage buff. This is independent on what the level of the actual Faithful skill is. If I wore all of my swap gear and I put everything on to increase the level of Faithful, it's still 25%, but what is increasing is your own skill damage. So in that sense, why is it only increasing your skill damage when you're just a support class? You're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not just a support class. You're supposed to be doing some damage on the side, because aside from Faithful, you have only one other skill in the Seraphic Feathers, which also provides a buff effect. Now, don't get me wrong. These are really strong buff effects. If I'm going to swap anyway, might as well just put this on. This class definitely can provide the effects of support type buffs. But in the meantime, what else are you doing? You know, these are buffs that are persistent. Faithful is persistent the whole dungeon, and Seraphic Feathers is just maintained every, you know, minute or so if you're doing it properly. So what else are you doing in the meantime? You're doing damage. Every other skill that you have on your hotkey bar, every other skill that you get is for damage and damage only. This is a really cool one. You can hold it down if you want. Huge damage, huge range, huge damage. Cool animation too. And that actually heals your party, which is kind of nice. You actually have a couple skills that heal your team. Again, not an effect of necessarily support classes only. So, by the way, I'm rocking my kind of farming build right now. It's a good build for normal dungeons. Getting high levels on your low level skills. So, thought I should mention it before you start shit talking my build too. But anyway. This is what I'm getting at, guys. It's just like, this class is definitely not support. She has two buff skills, and both of them are independent on actually what level your gear is at. You can wear no gear, and it still provides the same party-wide effect. What makes the difference between the paladins is the damage that you can do in the meantime while the buffs are active. You know, it's just kind of like, don't be a useless member just thinking you're only support, because every single paladin, regardless of what the fuck their gear is or anything, even if you wore no gear, is providing the same effect, party effect, which is actually different from almost every other support type character in the game. You would think, oh, well, you know, you got to get levels on your swap skill, you got to do this, you got to do that. Not the case. Absolutely not the case for this character. There's actually no way to increase the damage on that, so it's, or the increase the potency of your buffs, which is kind of backwards to me. I think there's, you know, there maybe should be some kind of trade-off to make your effects more potent, aside from just yourself, which, not a big deal. I guess you could be selfish as well if you wanted to, but, you know, classes like Nen Master can increase the levels on their skill to make their buffs more potent and stuff like that. Not the case here. That being said, why do people still like this class? Because fucking the buffs they provide are really good. So, anyway, Seraphic Feathers, by the way, is a little bit more complex. It's basically her only gimmick in the whole game. The feathers that I get around my character whenever I use the Sweeping Wave skill or my Awakening or when I start the dungeon, when I charge up a skill now, you'll see I'm charging up a skill, it'll give me this buff, Seraphic Feathers. You know, expend my feathers however many I have. And that is really the only gimmick with this character. It's very simple. I just explained the whole thing. You get a buff when you charge up one of your skills. The only difference from that is if you actually charge up Sweeping Wave, you'll, instead of getting feathers like this, you'll expend the feathers and get a larger suction effect on that one particular skill. So right here, I'll use it, a charge up version. Boom, it knocks everybody and brings them, groups them together. So in that sense, you can get a grouping skill for one time. But most of the time, if you're strong enough, you could just kill them with the Sweeping Wave. So, and not to mention you have some new grouping skills as well. So that's it. That's the main gimmick of this character. I've kind of explained all of her complexities already. She has nothing really complex about her, honestly, aside from that. And go ahead and use our first Awakening. Ooh! Oh my God! fucking circulation, man. Every time I see that, Oh my god. It's my least favorite epic because it's a fucking kunai, first of all. And it's because it sounds like it should be part of the five senses, right? It sounds like, you know, recollection or some shit. Anyway, yeah, this character, not very complex at all. And really, I think there's a lot of things they could have done to make her a lot more complex to play. You know, things like getting different effects when you charge up your skills, getting different buffs instead of just the same buff no matter what skill you charge up. You know, these kinds of things they could have made a lot more in-depth. Maybe instead of getting buffs, you can get debuffs depending on what charge skill you do. You know, just something to actually consider when you're actually playing the class and not just, you know, here, have a buff. You know, it's just kind of so brainless that it doesn't matter what you do. I think part of the reason that they didn't want to make this class too in-depth is twofold, okay? I want to try to explain why Neopol made this class the way it is. I don't know if this is true or not, but here's my theory, okay, guys? One, we already had a really complex Knight class. And if they made it'd be 50% of the classes if they made this class too complex. Like the Elven Knight. Elven Knight is one of the hardest classes to play in the game. I'm not going to say she is, but she's a difficult class to play. It wouldn't be very fair if they made two classes that were very hard to play. I think it would be cool, but it kind of explains, okay, well, we already made Elven Knight. We don't want to make another complicated character. And the other reason why is because of the moniker that it gets as a support. A lot of people, what they call this class is the physical version of a Nen Master, because Nen Master is a support type class, female Nen, excuse me, is a support type class of which buffs up magic classes very well, especially those who do light damage inherently. So it kind of like, this class is kind of often viewed as a Nen Master for physical classes, and I don't know if I really like that kind of claim. Because, like I said, she's mostly a damage class as is. She does a lot of damage on her own. So does Nen. But the existence of the Nen Master, I think, is what hindered this class and made her the way she is. Because they didn't want to make a class who was considered the physical Nen much more complicated than Nen. They wanted to make her actually very similar to Nen. In fact, the way that she plays is very similar to the Nen. Even down to the core where she can slightly charge her skills up, you know. That kind of thing is also a Nen type thing, which is also pretty dang useless on the female Nen. It's like not very pronounced, that feature on the class. And the same thing here. It's not very pronounced. It's not something you even have to think about for the most part. Maybe once a minute kind of thing. So it's, you know, I think the existence of the female Nen and the way that the means that they wanted to make her very similar in playstyle to her is the reason why she exists in this way. They made her very simple, and maybe it's a case as well that they wanted a noob-friendly support class. I don't know. People who generally aren't really too involved in trying to get really complicated systems, they just want a noob-friendly class, and this is it. So yes, all those complaints that you're going to level against this class, I agree with you. This class is very noob-oriented. This class is very easy to play. Fuck, one of your main tenets of the class is abusing the skill Sweeping Wave. Just one skill to increase your feathers. So already you don't have another means of really increasing it. There is one way. I'll use it right now, which is pretty dang cool. I actually like this shield. She actually can jump forward and back, and she gets super armor, and she gets shields every time she blocks. So she's like the queen, obviously, of blocking. I wish there was more to it, honestly. You don't even get a counterattack out of that skill, but, you know, it's something. You get something, a little bit of movement. So you can kind of use this to your advantage, obviously. Be able to super armor through pretty much and block pretty much any attack and then get benefits for it. But there's not going to be much reason because you can just spam the Sweeping Wave, which is probably more efficient than just waiting for an enemy to attack you. So yeah, when one of your core tenets of a skill is some cheap skill like Sweeping Wave, hits everybody in the room, does knockdown, does a lot of damage, when that's like when that's your main tenet of the class, yeah, it's going to be pretty lame, I'm going to say that. So, but like I said, I love Knights. I love how she looks. I love the aesthetic with all the spaces, caps. This class is awesome. What can I say? So yes, level all your complaints, level all the shit talking I've done to you about your easy brain dead classes, and I'm not even going to defend it. It's true, but I still really like this class. Now, That being said, guys, as we'll do our last run here, she's going to be one of my main characters, obviously. And the last thing I want to mention is my Elven Knight has actually been at that point for a while now where there hasn't been a lot for me to really strive for at the hyper end game. You know, it's kind of like, for my Elven Knight, it almost feels like I'm done. I beat the game. I beat DFO. I can do Luke. I can do it pretty dang easily. I can, of course, get a little bit stronger. I'm looking for more ways to min-max my character that don't just involve throwing more money at it in terms of, like, you know, amplification and shit. And I've pretty much done everything. I've gotten all of the epics I wanted. I've gotten all of the, you know, enchantments, all the min-maxing type of bullshit. I've done all of that. So this class has been a breath of fresh air in that sense, in that I've been able to move on to another character without having to compromise just, you know, doing the same thing over and over for no reason. I always like doing stuff with purpose, right? There's a reason to do it. I don't like wasting my time. And when you're playing a class who's already 12-12 and really beaten DFOG already, you know, when you're at that point, it's always really refreshing to get on a new character and do hells and be excited for any shine that you get. Because on my Elven Knight, it's that case where it's like I'm doing hells and I'm getting shines, but what's it really mean? I mean, I'm getting duplicates 24/7. Got another tactical commander right here. I'm getting epics. So it's so great to be able to start doing epics again and get rewarded for it. You know, that's all I'm saying here. So yeah, that's my paladin right now. She's the class I chose to be the second character main on my account, and I don't regret that decision. This class has been a blast to play. One shot. Ooh. Shit's pretty strong right now. I got a pretty good build for farming. But anyway, guys, this is my paladin. I expect to see her more often in the videos and stuff like that, for me doing content again on her, because she's just a red version of my Elven Knight right now. Of course, not as complicated, and I can always go back and just play. If I wanted to get serious and actually play a complex class again, I could just jump on my Elven Knight. But this has been a really fun character for me to play, and just look at it, man. Look at the twins here, red and blue. So awesome, the costume game. I'm really stepping up my costume game lately, guys. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll be talking about my Dragon Knight. Why is she level 86? It's not because I don't like her. Anyway, we'll talk about her then. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you knights later.